Well, welcome back everybody. My name's Andrew and you're watching the Kelley's Country Life. And today's episode is probably going to be a little controversial for some of y'all. All right, and by that I mean we are going to do something that we know is technically not correct because, well, we're going to have to undo it. So what I mean is all of our outside lights, from our soffit lights to the porch lights down here at the end and our side lights, I need to get installed, even though you're looking at a house that isn't painted at all. So the reason I'm having to do that is the inspector is coming tomorrow, believe it or not, to do my final electrical. Well, I need to have things in working order so he can flip switches on and not see open boxes. That's not final electrical. He's going to do final plumbing for me tomorrow and final mechanical, or HVAC. All in the hopes that he's going to let me know what he needs left to get a CO and to make that phone call to our power company to pull permanent power out here. So why am I going ahead and installing this stuff knowing I'm going to take it back off or either cover it all up very well to paint the house? Reason being is it's all about builder's risk insurance. So we originally put a 1-year policy on this house and I knew that it was probably going to run a little longer than that. Well, the 1-year policy, for example, it cost, I think it was like $780 to cover the value of the home for, you know, wind damage, tornadoes, hurricanes, fire, theft, vandalism, all that good stuff. You have to have that. You really, really need to have that, especially if you're doing a loan. It's absolutely required. So I just called back, a couple of months ago and said, hey, I know I'm going to go a little longer. I just want to add an extra month or two. I knew they offered that. Well, here's the kicker. Insurance is like quadrupled in price, so I couldn't believe it. Everything else has went up, so I guess the insurance industry has too. And I jokingly said to the lady on the phone, I said, let me guess, we're calling this COVID related too? She says, yes, actually the whole industry has revamped and redone their pricing. So long story short, to do 3 months was gonna cost what I paid for the entire year last year. So it literally has went up 4 times in cost. So I added 2 months. I figured that was enough to cover me. We're coming up on that deadline and I refuse to pay any more builder's risk insurance. I need to convert over to a full homeowner's policy. I can't do that without that piece of paper from the inspector, without that CO that says, hey, the house is livable, it's passed all codes. So I'm literally going to save several $100s to go ahead and install lighting today that I may have to pull back out whenever I go to paint. Totally worth the several $100s in savings. Then we can just go ahead and convert right over to our normal homeowner's policy that pretty much everybody has. So that's today's episode. Let's pop some lights in. Let's see what all we can get into. We don't want any open fixtures, boxes, nothing. We want the inspector to come tomorrow and say, okay, he's done told me he does not care about paint, doesn't care about trim. None of that stuff is required to make a home livable. Safety stuff, sanitation stuff, electrical, all that has to be complete to move in. So that's what we're focusing on. Let's get with it. Tis the season. The wasps are out. Speaking of, one right behind you. I better be careful. And here's the wasp coming back home. He doesn't have a home and he's mad. All right, and after a short kill break, we're back. I know some of y'all suggested to try Dawn dish soap and water as a wasp killer. I need to do that, but I have 3 sprayers. All 3 are slap full of bleach, insecticides, and herbicides. So I guess I'll be pouring that. Well, I don't want to pour that stuff out. That's the thing. I do need to try that mixture. I've heard it enough. And I know. I can already hear y'all. Some people are going to be saying, hey, you're going to be constantly dealing with dirt dauber and wasp problems until you close this in. You're exactly right. But I don't have several thousand extra dollars laying around right now and close this porch in. But it's coming. It's coming. So we have decided that we want to close this in with tongue and groove pine, just like on the inside. So 1,300 square foot. Actually, it's probably closer to 1,400 to 1,500 counting the overhangs. That's a tremendous amount of tongue and groove, and not cheap at all. So eventually, yes, we'll get to that. That possibly could be a this year project, probably going to be a next year project. In the meantime, we'll get this ceiling cleaned up. It's permanently stained from all the rain and mildew that we had last year. Not rotten, nothing like that. And we'll get some really good quality paint on it that has a mildew inhibitor in it. I know some of you are going to be asking, hey, are these lights damp rated? Yes, they are. It says right here on them. Although I don't even think you technically consider this a damp rated area at all. So I don't know what the heck has happened. I am now done with all the lights. I couldn't even record. My camera blew over so many times. We have just had crazy winds. I'm talking 30+ mile-an-hour winds come out of nowhere. You can hear all the howling. This is nuts. We've got a very big thunderstorm, or a group of thunderstorms expected tomorrow. I don't know what this is going on ahead of it. And then we'll have a one-day break and we're supposed to get slammed again with more severe weather. You can definitely tell it's March and going into April now because, well, we always get pretty severe weather this time of year. So what I'm doing right here is going ahead and installing our outside wall sconces and lights because I want to get these holes plugged up as well. And it's looking like probably all this is going to take me a couple of hours to install. Yeah, bummer. But I guarantee I could probably pull all this back out in literally 15, 20 minutes. It always takes so much longer to install stuff than it does to just kind of take it right back out whenever it comes time to paint. It is what it is. The inspector may not even have required this, but I would rather go ahead and have everything tested and all these holes plugged for him. That literally took 4 or 5 minutes. Very easy install. Let's see if it works. Yes, it does. I really like the way this looks. Tiffany's done a really good job of picking out all the black stuff, you know, black doorknobs and black lamps, just everything, really tying in this black truss theme that we have going on here. All right, so the last thing that I'm going to install, because it's literally, and it sounds so weird to say, literally the last electrical connection in this entire house. That's kind of weird to think about. It's the fan hookup right here. I'm going to go ahead and mount the fan. I probably could have got away with putting some wire nuts out here on this, but we'll go ahead and mount it. Here's the thing. Once you mount a bracket right here and I put the fan up, at any point in time, all I have to do is come in here and loosen the wiring, pop the fan out, leave the blades attached. It's so easy to do with this lift. Lower it down, I can carry it off, paint. And I got to thinking, what am I going to do with this thing on crazy stormy days or hurricanes? Really, I could pull it down, or I may put some hooks up in the ceiling to where I can actually ratchet strap some ratchet straps to this and tighten it up if I know that we've got a hurricane or something like that coming. I'm going to see how this plays in the wind. So for starters, I got to get this mount on here. I'm going to mount this just like I did the one inside, and I decided to go with the same exact style fan. It's called a Kingsgrove 72-inch indoor-outdoor fan from Home Depot. Excellent price, moves a ton of air to only be a 6-foot fan, and the blades are ABS plastic. You can tell it's really set up to be okay outside. That's important to me. Now, we really considered doing an 8 or a 10-foot fan out here. I was dead set that's what we're going to do actually. And my friend has an 8-footer in his shop. No, he's actually got a 10-footer, excuse me, for an excellent price. Well, they're back on sale like stupid cheap, and I was going to get one, but he recently just had a bracket break that holds one of those super long fan blades, and it was a miracle that the fan blade didn't go flying out. He actually had to take it down, take it apart, and remove it, and he just had to get another fan. So that kind of scared me to get that particular fan because, well, there are several $1,000 custom windows right there. And if a fan blade was to fly off here and bust one of those, I would never forgive myself. So we're going to go with a smaller fan. Here's the way I got to looking at it. I can, if this winds up not covering the porch well, we can always get two, and I can move wire in this direction, and mount one over here, one over there. We may still do that anyways. Keep in mind, we're going to have a really nice misting fan, pedestal fan downstairs, and we still have another fan to mount over on the wall in the outdoor kitchen area. So we're going to have a minimum of 3 fans on the porch anyways, and as y'all can tell, we always get a breeze here, so on days like today, it'd be pointless running a fan anyways. Mother Nature's taking care of that for us. So we'll see how this works out. You would think I have learned my lesson recently about talking good about stuff. So here I am praising this fan because I love the one I got inside. I like a lot about this fan. Go down to get the LED light assembly that's supposed to be in the box to install right here. Not in the box. Brand new fan ordered directly from Home Depot. So I have been on the phone with 2 different customer service representatives for probably the last 45 minutes to an hour. And there's one thing I have learned. I ordered this fan online and I checked that as a guest. First mistake. And I checked that with PayPal. Second mistake. Give y'all a piece of advice, especially with Home Depot. If you check out just the way I described as a guest and with PayPal, you've got a receipt. You've got confirmation. It even says Home Depot on it. You think you're good, right? That's what I thought. In case you never need to return something or whatever it may be. Wrong. It does not have the Home Depot order number anywhere on that receipt. So after getting transferred and finally talking with somebody in their sales department, they finally found my order number. Now I have to email proof over and all kinds of stuff to another customer service representative to hope that they'll ship out my LED light. Otherwise, they were going to charge me, and I refused to pay for a part that was supposed to be included in a brand new fan. Things like this you experience constantly when building a home. Let me get off my soapbox. I'm going to slap some blades on this. I guess we're going to leave this dangling since I don't have a light. And whenever it shows up in the mail, we'll pop it in. At least we can still use the fan. I do believe plugging in the light shouldn't make any difference. All right, so as y'all can see, it is dark. I waited to show off, the progress today. Let's see how the lights look. Now, keep in mind, yes, the porch is not painted. The house is not painted on that side, so disregard the yellow color. And I'm going to go ahead and forewarn you, GoPros hate nighttime. They hate it. So I don't know how this footage is going to turn out. But let's go take a peek at the lights. So I'm going to start with the outside lamps. All right, so nothing fancy to see here. Just a couple outside light wall sconces. Tiffany wanted the bright, clear LED color. We can change those bulbs to any color that we want. This is where the GoPro is going to get shaky. It hates nighttime. All right. I doubt we ever use these much, but I guess if you just want a little bit of light, these would be perfect for that. All right, so now let's turn on the soffit lights. So yeah, I think I kind of like that. You know, originally we were going to have them out here on the porch, and since we're not going to deck the porch, or what I keep calling decking the underneath side right now, I decided to move them over to the soffit, because I see a lot of homes doing that now. I kind of like the look. It puts the perfect amount of light out here. It's not as bright as I was thinking. And I have these on a dimmer, so let's go turn them down. Alright, so I have them dimmed down a little more. I like this. I like this a lot. So if we were to have guests over and everybody's parked out here and you need a little bit of light to get to your vehicles, these are all the way down on low. I like it. The GoPro is not showing you, but I can see all the way over to the pine trees. I could easily get to a vehicle with this amount of light. All right, and now it's time for the back porch lights. I'm curious about this. Let's see. Huh. All right, so this is 10 LED lights for the back porch. Oh man. You know, you just don't know when you first set this up. Is there going to be enough light? Is it going to be too much? What's it going to be? I love it. And keep in mind, with the fan fiasco, I can have another light there on remote control from the fan. But I like it. It's a great amount of light, and it's not too blinding or just really bothers you. And this is on a dimmer, so let's go turn it down and see how low we can get this. So this dimmer is not super sensitive. I kind of hate that. If you try to dim it any lower than this, it cuts them down to the point that they're casting no light, but you can still see the bulbs lit up. But with that said, I do like that this does dim down, and we'll have to hook it up from the phone and check all that out a little later. So now we're talking. Check this out. Everything is lit up. So you're talking 15 lights here if I remember correctly. That is awesome. This is a ton of light. Again, the GoPro's not doing it justice. I can see 100 foot out here in the yard. Actually, I can see down past the end of the drain field right there. Over 100 feet. And last but not least, we'll turn our fan on. I wish it had the light, but I am working with Home Depot on that now. I sent them over the receipt. We finally got that found and discovered. And I should have a light in the mail before long. And we can have a single light out here to control up or down and not have to run any of these if we just want a single light to kind of cast a little bit of walking around light out in this area. So the wind is finally laid down. I'm going to get underneath this, see if I can feel it, and I absolutely can. If we were to put like a picnic table or something in this area, it's got probably a 15, maybe 20 foot wide area. Actually, I'm way back here from it now, and I can feel it coming up off the floor. So at nighttime, that'll be great for getting some bugs away. Like I said, I may put 2 of these out here, maybe one in the middle here, one over there, or put them across that center truss. We can always add another one of these fans. They're quite affordable. So awesome, y'all. We have lights. It's not the way I'd like to have it. Yes, I wish the house was painted. I wish the ceiling was painted, but it is what it is. We have to get this electrical checked out. Literally in just a few hours, the inspector's supposed to show up. Fingers crossed everything goes well. I'm sure I've missed something. I'm a first-time home builder. It's the way that it goes. Hopefully it's nothing major that's going to really hold up us getting that CO. I guess at this point, we've done the best that we can do. I'll let y'all know the outcome here before long. Take care. Thanks for watching.